Pontiac GTO, the original muscle car unleashed. The Pontiac GTO, the car that defined an era, is a bit like discovering that your grandfather was really James Bond. Yes, it's that cool. This iconic muscle car, birthed in 1964, essentially created a whole new genre of automobiles, the muscle car. It's the automotive equivalent of the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper album, breaking molds and setting new standards all at once. Let's begin with the birth of this legend. Picture the scene. Early 1960s America, where horsepower was a term thrown around like confetti, and the drag strip was the crucible in which legends were forged. Pontiac's GTO, with its roaring V8 engine, was like a thoroughbred in a greyhound race, no competition in sight. The standard model came with a 6.4-liter V8 producing 325 BX power, but if you were feeling particularly daft, you could opt for the tri-power setup, which was like fitting a Bunsen burner to a jet engine. The result? 348 BH powers of unadulterated American muscle and a 0-60 time that would make you question the time-space continuum. Driving the GTO was like harnessing the power of a thunderstorm. The acceleration was brutal, the engine roared like a lion with a hangover, and the steering, well, it was somewhat optional. Corners? Handled with about as much finesse as a bison on roller skates. But let's be honest, nobody bought a GTO to impress Colin Chapman with their cornering. No, this was for straight-line speed, for leaving rubber streaks on the asphalt and grins on your face. And then there's the design, the visual manifestation of pure automotive bravado. The GTO was a masterpiece of aggressive styling. It had a stance that said, "Get out of my way or I'll flatten you." The twin grills, the bulging hood, and the dual exhausts were all punctuated by a chorus of chromed accents. The overall effect? It looked fast standing still. Inside, it was everything you expected from a 60s American car. Bench seats large enough to host a small gathering, a dashboard that looked like a NASA command center, and dials and switches galore, most of which had the precision of a sundial in the rain. But who cared? The cabin wasn't about luxury. It was about function, about hosting that massive, roaring V8. The Pontiac GTO also had a commendable cultural footprint. It wasn't just a car, it was a symbol. Immortalized in songs, movies, and more than a few teenage dreams, it represented the zenith of automotive aspiration in its time. If you had a GTO, you weren't just driving, you were making a statement. And let's not forget the wonderful peculiarity of the Pontiac GTO's name. GTO stands for Gran Turismo Omologato, which, as any Italian will tell you, is a name more customarily attached to a fine-tuned, sleek Ferrari, not a brash, roaring chunk of American steel. But therein lies the charm. Pontiac was effectively thumbing its nose at European sports cars, saying, "We can do it too, but bigger, louder, and brasher." The GTO wasn't perfect, mind you. Fuel economy was about as robust as a sieve, and its ability to love corners was akin to a cat's ability to enjoy a bath. But again, these were mere trifles to the GTO's audience. This car was never about sensibility or pragmatism. It was about thrill, speed, and the joy of unfettered power. In the end, the Pontiac GTO remains an icon. It encapsulated the spirit of its time and carved out a legacy that's still revered today. It was raw, it was loud, it was everything an American muscle car was supposed to be. And for that, we salute it. Enjoyed this dive into the glory days of muscle cars? Smash that like button, subscribe to Auto Icons, and ring the bell for more wild rides through the history of iconic automobiles. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.